Welcome to my channel. Today we are making a beautiful cake from semolina. So this is melt in your mouth semolina. And when I say melt in your mouth, I really mean melt in your mouth. It's very soft, delicious, and not hard at all. So the first thing I am adding in the bowl is 1.5 cups of semolina. Semolina is in the same family as corn, And then the next ingredient I'm adding is self-raising flour. The reason why I use self-raising flour because I want it to be extra super soft. I don't like hard cakes. And then the next thing going in was the sugar, like you saw me putting in. And then the next thing I added was a little salt. Iron and salt are not really friends, so I don't like too much salt in my food or anything I'm baking or cooking. And then the next thing I added some baking powder. Yeah, I know I use self-raising flour, but I still added baking powder. The reason why I did that was because I wanted this cake to be super light and super soft. I hate hard cakes, And then I made a well in the middle of the dry ingredients. So the next thing I added was the melted butter. The exact amount of ingredients will be in my description box. The next thing that I added was some eggs that I whisked. And next thing I added as well was some vanilla. And then I'm giving that a very good mix so it's combined. Then the next thing going in was some buttermilk. If you didn't want to go to the shop, you can make your own buttermilk by adding milk and vinegar together. And then the last thing I added was some fresh milk because, like I said, I want this cake to be soft and moist. I don't like hard cakes. So you give that a good... First of all, I started with my whisk and then I changed to my spatula. So that's the consistency you want. You want it soft. So that's my greased cake pan, which I put some non-stick paper and then oiled it properly, the bottom and the sides, and then I added my cake. So I'm going to be baking this for 45 minutes at 160 degrees centigrade. Please watch your cakes because sometimes ovens can be different. Just watch it. Make sure it doesn't get burnt too quickly on the top and not cooked on the bottom. So the next thing that we're making is our honey butter. So to make that, it's very simple. You just add some butter and some honey, and then you just warm in the microwave. So that's already out of the microwave, and as you can see, it's melted, and that's gonna go over the cake after I've poke some holes on the top. So our cake is out of the oven. So this is the moment of truth. So now I'm poking the cake with holes using my toothpick, or you can also use a skewer, and the best time to do this is when the cake is very hot, just straight out of the oven. And what I'm doing there is just putting the honey butter over it. The reason why I'm doing that because we want it to be absorbed into the cake to make it extra moist and delicious. It's as simple as that. So I allowed it to cool for just a few minutes because honestly I couldn't resist it. The way my kitchen was smelling, the aroma was just amazing. So what I'm doing, I'm just releasing the cake from the cake pan. But first I had to use a knife to go around it so it doesn't stick. There is nothing as worse as making a cake, sweating and making your cake, and then the next thing is sticking. That's not a nice feeling at all. So I'm releasing the cake. Hopefully, let's pray, fingers crossed. Yes, it came out. Yes, that's why it's good to oil your pan very well, oil it very well. And that's our cake, guys. That's close up. You can see it's nice and moist and the color is amazing. So now I'm taking it and putting it on a nice cake platter. Then I'm going to be putting it on top of my mesh, metal mesh. So now let's cut this cake. This is the moment of truth. Let's cut the cake and see and see what we have. Let's see what the inside looks like, because everyone is like, okay, yeah, it looks nice on the outside, but what's on the inside? Okay, as you can see, it looks amazing. Very soft cake, crumbly. That's how you know that a cake is soft, because it's nice and crumbly. And I couldn't resist. That one's for me. And thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. And tell me what you want me to make next. Thanks. Bye.